passing strange that I, to whom men have bowed and scraped, begged and flattered, if but for a few short years, am reduced to this, the man at the gate, the tour guide to, well, to this place. A humble role, no, a humbling role, to act as servant to all that life, no, death brings here. For each one arrives bewildered, not a little scared, hopeful, fearful, and most certainly in need of a guiding hand, a kind smile. And so, whether as a lesson or a jest, they chose me, and to be fair to those whose rules I follow and whose reign I respect and love, it is a source of joy. I meet them all. The old maid who has died unloved and was unvisited in her sickness by those relations who coveted her wealth. The child slipped from the tree where he had climbed to steal an early apple, bitter yet to the taste. The girl who thought the man she walked home with an honourable man when honour was a word he spat upon. The rich who died still clinging to their gold. The poor who died smiling as the sun set on the day and their lives. All come to that gate and push it wide and look on this place and on me. Some know me for who I was and step back, but most have forgotten or no longer care. And so we walk, and I explain to them the simple rules of this place, summed up in one word: love. I show them sights they may wish to see, people with whom they may wish to speak. I bring them to their resting place, and they are content. In our brief encounter, I read their lives and find in their stories so much of which to grieve and lots in which to rejoice. Life, our brief candle, burns bright, if not long, and for a while the universe is wont to smile. And so who comes now? One with such a look of surprise upon his face. He either cannot believe his final resting place is here and not the other, or else he never expected to depart this life in such a fashion as he did. He probably thought he'd be immortal, and yet like all of us, even those who were once kings, he will be remembered for but a while, then filed in history to gather dust and crumble.
What? 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 Where on earth? 1 minute I was, and now I am. These gates, they resemble those of Great Charlcote. Surely not. No, not possible. I know. I am delirious and dreaming. I am not myself. I lie still feverish upon my bed. And yet, hello, there is a man. Oh, don't much like the look of him. A twisted, blackened husk of a man. A beggar, no doubt. Well, beggars can't be choosers, and I must find my way through this dream world. Hello, ho there, you there. You with a face like a maid sucking lemons. Come here and talk with me. He comes. He clearly recognizes his betters. Well, he may recognize me. People do. They stop me in the street and tell me how much they loved my last production, or quote lines back at me. Why, only the other day, a woman comes running out of a baker's with her little boy, thrusts him in front of me, and shouts into my face, "Toby or not Toby?" That is the question. Yes, apparently his name was Toby, and she thought it a great joke. She laughed so hard, she wet herself. My man is here. Good sir, please tell me where I am and how I get out of here. I am a little lost.
Good day, sir, and welcome to this place. You are just arrived, I see, and rightly you are a little disorientated. It's a common enough reaction. I mean, it's not every day you die. Oh, sorry, was I a little blunt? I had meant to break it to you more gently. Allow me to try again. Condolences, my man. Your family today have lost their man, their husband, father, brother, son, and are left weeping and bereft. But you have been gathered up and brought here where you will be for the whole of eternity. Was that better? I have been told I lack tact.
Dead? Well, dead? Dead? No, I can't be dead.
Oh, you most certainly can, sir. Why, I myself have been dead for several hundred years, and we have people with us who have been resident for literally thousands. Makes for an interesting and entertaining community.
Dead?
Yes! Time to move on now. I am your guide. I have come to walk you through this place so you can come to terms with your transformation and begin to feel at home here. Are you ready to begin your tour?
This cannot be.
Oh, people often think that, but there's no accounting for grace. Lived a bit of a naughty life, eh, did we? Yes, I thought when I saw you, you seemed a bit of a, well, not quite a gentleman, shall we say?
Infernal cheek! I was a gentleman. I knew both the king and the queen. I had friends in high places. I was the most famous man in England.
Indeed. Well, we have that in common, at least.
Really? I hardly think so. But yes, I am ready for this tour. I had hoped I would have merited, well, someone important to have come and met me.
None are considered important here. Status, an ugly word, a judging word. It doesn't exist. It'll seem strange to you at first, then suddenly after a while you think how right it all is. It'll come to you in time, like inspiration.
Oh, now that I do know about inspiration, that is. But this nonsense about status that you spout cannot possibly be. Where would society be without it? But what's the use in debating such high matters with a beggar? Very well, if you must be my guide, lead on, and leave no highway untrod, no alley unexplored, and no doorway unopened. Open to me the very heart of heaven, and bring me inspiration. There may yet be a play in it.
If you say so. Right, this way.
Call me Will.
And I'm Dick.
This is indeed a paradise. Oh, wherever I look, I receive smiles, hear laughter, see joy and beauty, honour and grace, in abundance. Oh, I am certain I shall be contented here.
Indeed, and if you are not, there is an alternative accommodation you could try.
No, I am content. Oh, this is a good place, filled with good people. Oh, the best of creation walk these streets. But perhaps a rest. There is so much to understand. My head is spinning. I must think a while.
It will take time, but time is what you have, or rather, don't. There is no time here, no clock or candle to count down the hours or the minutes. Those words have no meaning as there is no measure. There is only, always, ever, now. Tell me, Will, how did you spend your time on Earth? You speak well, an educated man, clearly. No soldier or tradesman, a teacher.
An actor.
Oh, an actor, a player on a stage, well. A life of lies and pretenses, never saying what you mean, never showing who you are, always speaking the words of another.
Hang on, that's not quite right. I wrote my own words.
Oh, a writer and an actor. I take it back, no liar then. What did you say your name was? Even here we have heard tell of Earth's great artists and watched with interest how they made their fame.
William Shakespeare, at your service, sir.
Shakespeare! William Shakespeare, you ruined my life!
But we've never met! I don't know you!
Oh, many a true word. Allow me to introduce myself. I was, Richard, King Richard III of England. What do you say to that?
Pleased to meet your majesty! Your picture didn't do you justice!
And neither will yours when I finish with your face!
But fighting, is that allowed here?
No, it is not. And even now my fist uncurls to shake your hand in repentance and sorrow. But why did you do it? Why did you tell such outrageous lies?
Well, just a minute. Lies? No. A writer never lies, just furnishes his audience with different forms of the truth.
Did you check your facts?
I didn't need to. It was common knowledge you were the devil himself. Though, clearly, in the light of our current location, I might have been wrong about that. I mean, there was the description of you as a baby, all hair and fangs and bumps.
John Rouse, another notorious liar. In the first edition of that damnable book, he praised me as a goodly lord. Then when that usurper took the throne, he rushed out a revision based on his beer-soaked dreamings.
Is he here by any chance?
If he is, which I doubt, our paths have yet to cross. But I can wait.
Look, this is all very awkward. But let's face it, you weren't nice.
Nice? Nice? Since when was being nice a qualification to be King of England? I was good. I had my people's interests at heart. I wanted justice for the poor and an end to privilege.
Yes, well, no one believed that.
No, not since you wrote that blasted play about me and that other, the one about Henry, and it is not even as if that one's any good. It's just long and boring and filled with lies, ridiculous lies. And then you made it in 3 parts. 3. What were you thinking of?
Well, I was thinking of the money, actually.
Yes.
But look, show me that I was wrong, and I will make sure that any second edition is suitably revised. Besides, in the future, I don't think anyone will pay it any mind. It is a piece of froth to entertain the masses. A horror story with a villain whose name can be used to frighten children.
You know that's not true, don't you? Now you're here, you'll see not just the past, but all that's still to be. Time is a landscape we can all gaze upon. You are immortal. Your plays performed around the globe and in every language under the sun. And your picture of Richard, the scuttling spider, the malevolence at the heart of England's history, is loved and taken as gospel.
Really? Oh. Well. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, I knew I was good. I mean, you do, don't you? You just know when something's brilliant. My horse, my kingdom for a horse.
I never said that.
Ah, but I bet you wished you had.
You know pride is a sin, don't you?
Naturally. I am merely making an observation. Well, I am rested. May we continue with the tour?
Very well. But perhaps on the way we can stop by and sit with my wife a while.
What? And Neville? The one you poisoned? Have you no shame?
Apparently not. Hello, Anne. I've brought someone to meet you.
Oh, hello. Forgive me. It's Chaucer. He's such fun. So droll. He comes round from time to time and we have a lovely chat. Yeah, Geoffrey's one of my oldest friends. Though he can be a little rude. I don't know how he gets away with it. Anyway, my manners seem to have deserted me. I'm Anne Neville. And once upon a time, I was married to this wonderful man.
Yes, hello. Nice to meet you. Yes, Chaucer, you say? Yes, admirable. Love to meet him sometime. Exchange notes, writer to writer.
Oh, you're a writer. Wonderful. Perhaps you could join our little book club. Oh, do tell me your name.
It's Shakespeare, actually. Will Shakespeare. Oh! I confess, this isn't quite what I was expecting. Rather thought there'd be cheers and a pat on the back. Instead, every time I say my name, it's a wallop to the guts.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne, thy wife, that never slept a quiet hour with thee, now fills thy sleep with perturbations. Tomorrow in the battle, think on me and fall on thy edgeless sword. Despair and die.
Oh, that was well said, my lady.
You put those words in my mouth. You gave my ghost such lies to speak, whose very words have haunted us even here. I loved my husband. He was all I could have asked for and all I ever needed. He had no vile words for me, only tender and a gentle touch, like snow that brought the sighs from my lips each night we spent in happy communion. He was loyal and kind and good and a father to our son. It was only in Richard's arms I could find comfort when he died. This man. And you made me curse him on the eve of battle and made me an avenging angel when I was a loving wife. Are you surprised to hear that, William Shakespeare?
Gratified. It always does me good to hear of a wife who loves her man. But my lady, think just this. They are merely players on a stage. The Anne who spoke those words was not you. She was an Anne I conjured, made to bring bitter twist to my schemes. She is Shakespeare's Anne, not Richard's, not history's. Mine alone. And if I have caused offence, and I see that I have, then I am sorry.
Can I leave you for a while? I promise she will not strike again. But there will be others who may call and share a word with you. Gentle folk, with no axes to grind. You will find in time the wrongs we have had done to us fade and fail.
Are you lost for words? Many are when first they come. Their heads fill with thoughts and hopes of who they might yet meet. But then they stop and take a breath and let this place be whatever it needs to be for them. You will find rest.
I am glad to hear it, as at the moment all I seem to be finding is rebuke and bruising.
A man who earns his living with words should take great care in the use of them. I know you will have felt obliged to lie, for your patrons wore a different rose. The truth would not have bought you fame, though it might have saved your guts.
True. So, apart from that play, what did you think of the rest? Did nothing amuse you?
You presume I took an interest in the man who painted such a picture of my family?
Well, not presume, just... Well, you're obviously a woman of discernment. I thought mayhaps you...
Okay, you're not at your best when weaving lies in history. But when those lies are put to fantasy, bottom, I laughed so much. Oh, you are a funny man, Will Shakespeare. And a sensitive one. You understood the human heart. And so much of what you write brought pains I had long since lost. So much pain, writ large in words. I wonder you could bear to bring those thoughts to life.
I laid aside my thoughts when I took up my pen. I lived two separate lives.
A more bitter critic might suggest that you abdicated your responsibility. But I am more kindly disposed, on account of your bottom, so to speak.
My lady, I am flattered. And forgive me if I ask, your son? The one you said you mourned so bitterly, have you been restored to him here?
Not yet. I've seen him, and know him. He is, as we all are, at peace. But he's not seeking us, so, we are content. I'd see my answer troubles you. Well, of course, it must. Maybe things will be different for you. My husband was not the monster you surmise. In fact, some acts you suggest are ridiculous if you've checked your facts. You say he was the one that killed Beaufort. You paint him out to be a villain in the prequel to his story. But my husband was a total of 2 when Beaufort died. He could barely hold a rattle, let alone a sword. Invention, fabrication. At the death of Clarence, he loved that man. Pure fabrication. But in fact, he's here. He comes round from time to time and shares a word. Perhaps you could ask him yourself, though I suspect your question might prompt a violent reaction. The death of Edward? Yeah, pure invention. My Richard was not on the field where death was delivered. And yet...
And yet?
Well, we all must do things we regret. But thanks to heaven, grace abounds for the repentant heart.
I got some things right then.
I cannot say. Those are not my stories to confess. Oh, here comes an old friend. Ho, Thomas. Well, what brings you here?
Just passing through, though I had heard William Shakespeare had arrived. I was quite keen to meet the man of wit and wisdom.
But you do not wish to hit him?
Hit him? Well, I know the man's a genius. I'd like to shake his hand.
Well then, William Shakespeare, Thomas Langton, once Bishop of St. David's.
Oh, an honour, sir, an absolute honour.
Why, thank you. I always like to meet those who enjoy my work.
Well, there are many such here. Though, after a while, the praise of men will fade with importance. What will really matter is, did you make the world a better place? Or did you, by your time upon earth, sow wickedness and corruption?
I never was much of a farmer, just ask my Anne. I only ever wanted good. If by my words the wicked prospered, then it was not my intent.
And I believe you. Take Richard, for example. You cannot have deliberately smeared his character as it appears. Perhaps you were misled by men of cunning.
Yes, men of cunning, absolutely. Unreliable source material, most assuredly. Historians. The first thing we should do is kill all historians.
Lawyers, surely, Falstaff said it.
Lawyers, yes, and historians. I mean, why had I never read of your words? Why did no one remind me of your hymn of praise to the king upon meeting him?
Ah, yes. He contents the people wherever he goes, better than did any prince. For many a poor man who has suffered many a wrong day has been helped and relieved by him and his commands. I never liked the qualities of a prince as much as his.
God has sent him to us for the welfare of all!
Aha! You did remember it after all.
Yes, it began to come to me. Perhaps I'd heard it in an inn or round a dinner table.
Well, you must have a remarkable memory then.
Yes. Yes, I do. Well, I think I must be going. Richard is returning, and I have taken so much of your time.
Nothing. Nothing.
I'm glad you two have had a chance to speak. He's not alone in his opinion, nor is his the only view, but it's one less often heard.
Indeed. My lady, it's been a joy, and I hope we shall meet again.
Inevitably we shall, Mr. Shakespeare. But as for when?
Ah, we're nearly done. Just a short walk and you will be at your place of rest.
I see that now I walk. There are many others here too, walking. Some faces seem familiar. You are not the only king.
There is but one king in this place, though there are many who have worn a crown in time gone by. Some perhaps you should avoid yet a while. John, perhaps.
Forgive me for asking, but I am beginning to see that I say may, mind, may have got you wrong. Was there anything that I suggested that was true? Surely I told some truths, even if it were just by chance.
Some things I am shamed for. I was under orders from my brother and brought about the death of an old man. I took no joy in it, and I would have trod a different path, but he would have none of it. And in my obedience, I laid my goodness in the grave. I had my orders from the king.
History has been filled with those who would seek redemption with the words, "I was only following orders." As if we are all but automata, without free will or choices of our own. It is no excuse for our sins, for they truly are our own, and we must claim them and acknowledge them.
And so I have.
Good. And the princes?
Ah. We are here. You are home. Your journey's end and your journey's beginning.
But it is no different to any other dwelling. How can you tell?
It is what lies within that makes this yours. Now I must go.
You would shake my hand.
Will you shake mine? Bloodied as it has been.
It is clean now. I will take your hand and ask forgiveness for any injustice my words might have brought. But my lord, you must admit, it was a cracking good play.
I confess, I've never seen it. It was others told me of it. I prefer a comedy, personally. Laughter. There was never enough of it while I lived.
I know that voice.
So you do. Till next time.
Hamnet. Son, 'tis your father. I've come home.